Yes. Hi, my name is Sharon Feckety, and I own The Doctor Whisperer. I am the founder of The Doctor Whisperer. I am also the co-founder of 13th Avenue Media. And I'm an author, just saying. My name is Sharon Feckety. I am the founder of The Doctor Whisperer, and I am the co-founder of 13th Avenue Media. I'm also listening to The Door Opening, and I own a book now. My name is Sharon Feckety. I am the founder of The Doctor Whisperer, and I am the co-founder of 13th Avenue Media. I'm also an author. So The Doctor Whisperer is a whisperer who helps doctors navigate through their business. Doctors are amazing at saving lives. Sometimes not the best at business. So I tell them what to do in business, not clinically. I at least help them with what they should do. I want to tell you the truth of what really happens. All right, so what does the Doctor Whisperer do? So I help doctors navigate through their business. Doctors do not go to business school, and when they do, it's worse for me. Because really, running a business is more about running the business, not learning about running a business. So I help them navigate through it. I help them hire people. I help them get friendly people up at the front desk, not miserable Mary like we've seen time and time again. I wrote a book. It's called The Broken Road to Mental Health in Life and in Business. I wrote it because there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, like suicides and overdoses and opioids, and I am 25 years sober as of August 11th, and I did not kill myself when I was a teenager, but I tried to. Is this too much? Oh, yay, good. We need to can we just talk about mental health, please? So what I have found in the business community, after owning a business for 6 years, that there are a lot of people struggling as entrepreneurs because, as we know, being business owners is a very stressful life. So for me, I have been working on myself for 25 years, meaning I'm accountable. If I do something wrong, I know how to say, I'm sorry. If somebody does something for me, I can say thank you. And I think in the business community sometimes when we have employees, we think we own them, and we don't. And if the person that is working for you doesn't have equity in the business, then they're not going to work as hard as you. So I think because I've seen so much bad in terms of how people are treated, I wanted to incorporate some of what I have learned. I have this wonderful Design for Living that has helped not just me, but many people that I know in the Tampa Bay community and beyond. So I put it all out there. So if I humble myself and I tell you my story about the things that I've gone through, it might be a little easier for you to talk to me about what you've been through. And then we can figure out why you're yelling at your staff, doctor, or boss, whatever. Yes, so if you don't work on your mental health, you can forget about your physical health because we don't eat a box of Twinkies because we feel good about ourselves, right? So I wake up and I meditate and I always exercise. If anybody follows my social media, they know that me and my bike are besties. So I ride my bike everywhere. I'm always out in nature. I think the only way to manage stress is to exercise, to be kind to others, and to work on you instead of focusing on everybody else. So I keep positivity around me, and I have a negative force field around me. Can you see it? You weren't even looking, talking about. So the obstacles that people in my life have to overcome working with me is that I am a truth slayer. So I don't know any other way to be than to be honest. And I realize on a very deep level that it is difficult for somebody to speak the truth. So I don't have any problems having confrontation or telling somebody what they need to hear. I just say it at the level I'm speaking right now. So a lot of people might think that I'm yelling, but I'm not, as you can hear. I'm just speaking directly. So the obstacles that I overcome is that people will label me as, oh, she's from New York, like before I walk into a room or before I meet with a doctor or a client. And although that's true, More importantly than that, I'm just really very, very honest because I don't want anybody in my life that's not candid and honest because that would not help me. How's that for an answer? You know, I don't try to sell to the unsellable. So I'm like going to therapy, right? You really have to be ready for what I'm going to say to you in order to get help. So I don't market myself, although I know how to market very well, to others. I get referred because really you have to know that you need help for me to come and really help you because I'm going to say things that are a little uncomfortable and I might make you look at yourself in a way that you never thought that you would. And I do that because I know that that's what helps me. And that has helped me in business for 20 plus years in the medical industry. So the obstacles are that you really have to know who you are before you bring somebody on that can really help grow your business. You want to talk about work-life balance? That's so fun. There's no such thing as work-life balance in business, so that's like a bullshit term that somebody came up with, and people love asking women that, especially me, and I've done talks where I've said exactly what I'm saying now, that work-life balance is bullshit, because I was in Sarasota all day yesterday, and I got home at 8 o'clock last night, and I got up at 5 this morning, and I've already met with 2 clients. I'm doing this now, and I'm going to interview somebody, and then I have a client at 5. And then I'm going to see my husband. And then I'm going to do more work. Like there's no such thing. When you are an entrepreneur or when you own a business and you love what you're doing, it doesn't feel like work. Like this is my life. My hobby is working. I like to work because I love what I do, because nobody's telling me what to do. Okay, so I dropped out of business school when I was the director of operations for New York Medical. I was going to business school at night. So I put myself in a lot of debt for no reason, and because I was learning more on the job than I was in school. So one day, a bright light came upon me and said, why don't you stop going here? You're learning more being the director of operations. So when you have to get yelled at by like a neurosurgeon in a hallway in Manhattan in your 20s, you grow a really strong backbone, and you don't really need somebody else to tell you how to do business, because I feel, and this is just me personally, I feel like you really learn business by doing. I think people talk about doing a lot. It's like people that want to do a podcast, for example. There's an app, right? You don't have to get super equipment. You could, but I've talked to many people that want to write a book or they want to do a podcast. The truth is, all you really have to do is do. So in business, when I hear about a mastermind, I literally run for my life. I'm like, oh my God, you are a master of your mind? Okay, that doesn't make sense to me. Probably going to be offending people by this video, so I should stop.
No.
Does anybody out there agree with me? Feel alone.
They can't talk right now.
Why not? Why can't we all be in the video together? Why does it have to just be me? Come on, ladies.
They're over here nodding. You just
Oh,
can't see
good. That's what I want to know. That's why audiences work.
Exactly.
Yes.
Talk about your podcast.
My podcast? Oh, so I have 2 podcasts. One is The Dr. Whisperer, and one is 13th Avenue Media. And I recorded my book on my podcast, which has gotten over 330 listens, and it came out August 11th. So I'm super proud of that, which means that I can reach people that can't afford the $13 on Amazon, because I don't read books. Like, I listen to books. I'm obsessed with listening to books and podcasts and learning from experts, not masterminds, experts that have actually done something big in their lives. So podcast for me is everything, because everything is going audible. Like, if there's an Alexa and a Google Home hanging out anywhere near you, know that like voice is important. So before I realized that I could listen to a podcast, I was listening to YouTube, killing all my data. And then one day somebody was like, you ever heard of a podcast? So as soon as I found out that I could use an app to do a podcast, I did it. I didn't wait for somebody to teach me how to do it. I learned how to do it, and I did it. And it's like great, because people have exposure. The secret to my success is accountability. The secret to my success is accountability. For sure, when you know that you have made a mistake, you should certainly be admitting it. The worst answer in the world is, yeah, I know. when you actually don't know. So my favorite term in life and in the world is I don't know. It's really good. Accountability is everything. Tell people you're sorry too, for God's sakes. Like, you made a mistake on the job, just say, hey, I screwed up. Like, and I do whatever it takes to make it up. But don't shame me. I'm a human, damn it. Well, the secret to my success is absolutely positivity. I do not have negative people in my life. Probably one of the reasons I love podcasts so much is because I don't have to listen to anybody else. I really need to have good information coming in to these ears, because my life, just like many women in business, many men in business, many entrepreneurs, is stress, right? So I have to remain the most positive person at the table, because I'm encouraging people to do things to help them grow their business. The secret to my success is messing with people. The secret to my success is never being too serious, because life is short. Like, really, everybody, let's have some fun. The secret to my success is honesty. The only thing that I can do is tell you the truth. And I can promise you, you're not gonna wanna hear it. But I'm gonna tell it to you, because that's what's gonna help you grow. And that's what's gonna help you realize that communication is the most important thing. I can't tell you how many employees tell me things in one 20-minute session, and I've never met them before, because I humble myself and I tell them about the mistakes that I've made, which gives them an opportunity to share with me. And then they tell me like their deepest, darkest secrets in like 5 minutes, and I know everything about the company, which is great for me. And then I get to give that back to the doctors or whoever is employing me as the consultant. So telling the truth and communicating is so important. Like, don't be pissed off and walk out. You know, be a man or be a woman. You know, like, just suck it up and say what's wrong, instead of going and telling all your friends about it. Or being a keyboard warrior. We love that. Or go on Open Door. Like, that's real. Is it Open Door? No, it's Glassdoor. Glassdoor. Yeah, those are real. Yeah, those mean something. And don't even bother asking for references, please. I recruit for a living. It's such a joke. Just save yourself some time, because you're going to pick the 3 people that are going to say something nice about you. Well, one of the secrets to my success is making self-care a priority. So if you have to take care of a lot of people, if you're an employer, if you're a boss, if you're a consultant or an author, you really have to make sure that your mental health is on point. So with your mental health being on point, that means you have to eat well. You know, like if you're going to do an event and you're a doctor, ordering baked ziti, you know, with soda isn't a good idea. You have to eat well. You have to feed your body and feed your mind. And then you have to exercise. Like, I believe in medication if you are depressed or if you have anxiety, but really there's a lot of other great ways to take care of yourself. So I practice meditation, exercise, and eating well. The secret to my success is always working on myself first. I can't teach anybody anything that I haven't worked out in my own life, right? So there's this thing about like you being full of shit. If you are trying to teach somebody how to be a better employer, that means that you have to practice empathy and kindness. And you really have to give back to your community. I think that there's so much more to being an employer and a boss. Like, I can't tell you how many of my clients don't know anybody in their community. And the reason that I bank with Valley, this is the reason I bank with Valley. I met Joe Riggs at BNI. Okay, not that there's anything wrong with BNI, but I didn't know anything about opening my own business, so I joined everything. Because I knew that I needed to immerse myself into the community. So I went to South Tampa. I live in Bel Air Bluffs, so that's far. Every Wednesday morning at 7:30, because I needed to immerse myself into another community. Joe Riggs from Valley stood up, and he was nice, and I liked that. So I talked to him, and he said, well, everybody at my bank is like this. And I said, that's crap. That's not true. So then he brought me into the bank. And then I met everybody. And everybody was like really nice. And then you guys had this like wonderful aesthetic design and all of the, so like we did photo shoots in there. I did conferences with my doctors in Valley. But the reason that I love Valley Bank is because the people are nice. And in business, it's not about being an asshole. It's actually about being nice. Like you can build an amazing company by being nice to other people and enjoying yourself and laughing and having fun and allowing somebody to make a mistake. Can you tell that I've really needed to get this off my chest?
I'm not saying it's great.
And in business, there's no one good idea of what you should do. I'm just going to put an ad in a magazine. It's 2019. I'm just going to do social. I'm just going to do podcasting. I'm just going to do video. You're just going to do about everything. Because if you don't, nobody's going to know who you are.
That's great.
The secret to my success is to join everything, especially your community. Please don't forget where you came from. The secret to my success is that I never forget where I came from. Although today you might look at me and think, wow, she owns 2 businesses. I was a very, very lost child when I was a teenager back in New York. I never forgot that. But I also never forgot that when I opened my business and I asked people to help me, they helped me. So today, 6 years later, if somebody asks me for help, can I pick your brain, that question that none of us like, I let them. Because I don't want to ever forget where I came from. One of the secrets to my success is that I can be so completely candid, like uncomfortably candid. Because I know that that's the only thing that moves the needle. I know how scared everybody is of telling the truth. I know how hard it is to fire somebody. But if you thought of it more like I'm going to free up your future versus I'm going to fire you, that there's a greater path for you and it's not here, you'd be surprised at people thanking you for that. The secret to my success is being able to look in the mirror and knowing that everything that I'm giving out to somebody is a reflection of myself. So if I don't believe 100% in what I'm telling somebody, and if I'm actually not doing the things that I'm telling you, then I really need to go back to square one. Because I can't help anybody with anything I'm not practicing in my own life. The secret to my success, right? One of them is that I always have a negative force field around me. If somebody comes up to me and they start complaining, I mean, you know how it is. You don't even have to be in business. You could be in line at Starbucks or Buddy Brew, whichever one you choose. And somebody could just start complaining like right away. Like they come up behind you in line and they just start talking about how bad the weather is. Well, don't we have anything else to say? Is it that bad? Do we have to do this small talk, really? I'd rather be silent. I would like to define what I feel like success is before I start talking more about the secret to my success. Success to me is being happy, okay? I know what it's like to have money. I know what it's like to build a business and grow a business for myself and for others. But the secret of my success is really being happy in what I'm doing and feeling good about what I'm doing. So I don't equate success to anything but happiness and doing good for others. I don't care if I'm broke. Success is happiness. Hells yeah. The secret to my success was listening to my own voice telling me to drop out of business school. I was already the director of operations running a big business. We had 11 offices and 42 satellite offices with neurologists, internal medicine doctors, and I had to fire them and I had to break up fights. I was doing more in my business than I could ever learn from a book. So I think it's really about action. Business is about action. I think the more transparent we get and the more transparent we get about how people actually talk, humans curse. We do. It's not a horrible thing. I can think of worse things, actually. But I've totally forgotten what the hell you asked me. So the secret to my success, one of them is certainly nothing to do with work-life balance. There's no such thing. I think it's bullshit. I think it's BS, whatever you want to call it. Work-life balance, there's no such thing. If you love what you do, it becomes a hobby. You know, I don't think that there's anything wrong with the fact that I can't wait to wake up in the morning at 5 a.m. like I did today and start working. I love it. My husband knows it. My parents know it. My 15-year-old knows it. Sharon is happiest when she's working and riding her bike alone, not talking to anybody. The secret to my success is absolutely never, ever, 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 never, ever, never, ever, never, ever, never try to sell to the unsellable. There's no reason for it. If people aren't buying in, don't waste your time. There's plenty of people out there that want your business, but don't try to force anybody on something that they're not interested in. You end up wasting a lot of time. And time is the hottest commodity.